Do you like this garment? It once belonged to my late father, whose grave rests in a place I like to call home. One of the few things he left behind is unconscious hand-me-down sewn by worn-out hands composing this African song. Each thread sings a skillful man's fight for a living. Look what my people can weave together. My people. These days I hear the voices calling, creating a deeper longing, because while I may appear an African American, I'm really an African living in America. America. The one course this young student continues to struggle through, the one place that reminds him every day that he is a grain of sand, a splinter, a foreign body stuck here to be forced out or to slowly disintegrate within. Lesson 1, genetics. When we arrived to the States, my father every night would make me and my sister chug a tall glass of milk, often spoiled. And like many Western societal standards, I had to force it down my own throat while my own father sits idly by watching, not considering how many Africans lack the ability to digest something that comes from another creature. But hey, I'm drinking milk, and when I grow up, I'm gonna have serious anxiety issues around everything that's dairy related. Lesson 2, what I call foreign studies, because I had to learn how foreign I was. See, the first name, Michael, no problem. But the last name, like our current pandemic, a unique virus that travels some 7,000 miles to give the average American a speech impediment. But why is it that they had the disorder, yet I had the depression? Or perhaps because Bach, Vivaldi, and Tchaikovsky were more nobler names to pronounce than Ola Semeka. This is before our current wave of what we know as Black Pride. Before y'all were claiming your birthright from Wakanda, me and my kind were known as the token African booty scratchers, the National Geographic specials. You know, the ones who lived in huts, swung from vines, had lions as pets? Knowing how to resolve all conflicts with that? I slowly learned I was not being pleasing to both sides, never fully African, but never fully American. So whether in confusion or concern, everyone's wondering why I don't go, Kilo Shelle, how are you, my brother, my sister, now, wow. Often I wonder, why is it I don't speak to you like this on regular occasion? The truth is, assimilating to your culture, I learned what you Americans call code switching. I learned I was black and not brown. I learned bigger words like segregation and gentrified, where at home it was easy for me to blend in. Here it's easy for me to be identified. I had to learn through inquiries and stares of why am I here when my father's socioeconomic status meant in your little affluent neighborhood you see a little black boy minding his business but still being escorted back home by security because they thought he was an intruder. You know what just couldn't get past me? How my family can enter a higher tax bracket, yet I'm still considered a lower class being? A lower class being. You know, that's what I thought of myself as. Until I learned who I was. I learned where I was from. And get this, I learned of a discussion that took place in regards to my name when I was born. You see, my mother, she cried out. She longed for a male child, someone who would carry on the family's name. She thought to call me Patrick. It would describe a young man of noble birth, but my father intervened and said, I think we should call him Mikael. To show the Spirit of God would raise up someone like himself. His origin would never be earthly. It would always be heavenly. My grandmother said, this boy has been born overseas. He's been born abroad, so we should call him Bamidele to show when he is grown, he will hear the call to return to his home. My auntie said, this boy is Igbo blood, so he's Hebrew blood. So again, put God back in his name and call him Chukwuemeka to show today the God of creation has done something great. So when I wear my father's garment, it's not for fashion's sake, it's not because of someone's lost clothes, it's because I can still hear this African song. Each thread sings a skillful man's fight. For a living my people fight, for a living my people's life, embedded in every fiber of my being, composing my history, composing my name, calling me Bamidele, so someday I have to go home. And I will want my grave next to my father. And God willing, if I have a child, I would want them to share this story as I pass on to them what my father passed on to me. I just hope they would say, do you like this garment? It once belonged to my late father, whose grave rests in a place I like to call home.